and that's going to be exciting. So we have our people just tuning in with us on 810 News Media Group, and we have my co-host Michael Clack tuned in from his car because, like I said, Michael Clack is everywhere, so he's on the road handling some business. But Mike Clack already shared some of your exciting news concerning Dr. Pugh, Dr. Pamela Pugh, who is running for Dan Kilde's seat. Possibly alleviating the Flint Community School District's debt. And I know you were absolutely positively instrumental in getting that done between you two, collaborating and working together, trying to make this happen for us. So, what do you got to say about that? Drop it on us. How you conduct yourself so fine for the community.
I was so happy when Dr. Pugh called me the other morning because we really have been working really hard to for all in all different aspects of for the district, but as trying to alleviate our debt, that would be so monumental. That would be so. I mean, I don't even know the word to describe how if that would happen. How what that we that would put us in the district in a great position. So I'm so thankful to Dr. Pugh for finding it in her to not let me not say that for submitting the letter. You know what I
Right.
mean? For keeping up the fight at the state level because we doing everything that we can around at the local level. So I'm so gracious to her for that. I don't even know what to
And you
say.
know what, on 1420, I failed to realize. Mm. You know what, Mike Clack?
What's up?
I'm having a glitch in my technology because I forgot that I don't have you logged in to 1420. I was supposed to call you on the three-way if I was going to do that. So I'm getting ready to call you so the callers on the radio station can also hear this great news. And bear with me, callers, because you guys know that I suck with this technology. Mike, click us in if you can. Call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. So nope, Mike Clack went straight to voicemail. So on the 1420 side, we're gonna have to learn how to, because we thought he would be in the house and he is not. So he's talking about how him and Dr. Pamela Pugh got together and worked diligently to make this happen. And he was saying that he thanks her because she submitted a letter to the state on the Flint Community School District's behalf concerning their debt because it's outrageous and we didn't have any way to dig ourselves out this ditch. And some of you guys might not understand exactly what this means, but this means that we're not at somebody else's, and I'm hoping it's not too late, but that means we're not at somebody else's mercy to keep our students um, in the community and keeping them educated close to home. So, just that, knowing that we'll still be able to operate and not operating in the red is like monumental because the Flint Community Schools have been in the red for like decades at this point. It's just like when I was there, I didn't see how we were going to come out because we had so many gatekeepers. And if you don't know how the school generate their money, it's by pupil head count. Okay, that's how they generate their money, and state allocations and federal government allocations and things like that. But the bulk of the money is based off student enrollment. And as we know, the Flint Community School District has been on a constant decline over the last maybe 2.5 decades. Okay, it was a time when we were, like I said, we were a pilot on a national level concerning education. What I mean by that is other school districts and from other states were coming to Flint to see how we were doing what we were doing. Okay. Um, I think that, and I want to say this. I'm sorry, I meant to say this, but with this technology thing and this snow and Michael Clack getting stranded on the freeway, I failed to do something very important. I want to wish my pastor, Pastor Calvin Randolph of New Day Ministries, a very happy birthday. He's a young guy, a very young guy. Anyway, but today is his birthday, and I do want to acknowledge him because I could not do what I do without him. He stands in the gap for me spiritually, and he prays for me constantly. And that's the only way I can come to you. That's the only way I can come to you guys renewed and with the desire to face another day and continue to fight and do this type of work, plus work a day job and maintain a personal life. So I just want to give him a mad happy birthday shout out to my pastor, Calvin Randolph. And I hope you're having an amazing and blessed day because he's an amazing person. So he deserves it. So, anyway, we got you back, Michael Clack. Okay.
You
So,
got to
yeah,
call my other phone number. You got to call my other phone because it's gonna mess up the live feed on here though.
okay. So I got the headphone to the my phone. So hopefully they can hear you on the 1420 side.
Okay.
But continue to talk about what you and Miss Dr. Pam Pugh have going.
Oh no. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. So we were talking. We. She basically what we're doing is we are trying to wipe out the debt that the Flint Community Schools have. So there's been a few other school districts that this has happened to in the state of Michigan. Ypsi, Benton Harbor. I want to say Willow Run, River Rouge, some schools like some districts like that. So it's just I'm just so happy. It's just another step that we trying to climb up the hill to bring this district back. I'm so happy. I really am happy about it.
I know, and me and you were talking about that, and we were talking about mentioning it on the show today. And Mike Clack was like, "Well, I would like to get that in." And I'm like, "Look, that's at the top of the day. That's hot news because even though I'm not on the school board anymore, I fight for the babies, okay? That's the reason I got on the school board because I was concerned about kids, and I'm still concerned about kids. I didn't come through there to put something on my resume or anything like that. I came through there to find out why children in my community, working class families, and poor children and minority children could not get a decent education coming from a community that has been so blessed and so capable in the past. I needed to understand basically what had happened to our school system. And I got involved and I found out. And what has happened is it's atrocious and people should be shamed. But that's
Mickey,
another
can you put that
conversation. And
document up?
today is
I just did
Mick,
Mickey the document from Dr. Q that she submitted to the press. Um,
okay.
she got a nice little quote in there for me, so I also appreciate her for that for throwing the alley oop. Dr. Q don't look out when she can. I appreciate that for her.
And
Um,
she does. And she does. And that's why
yeah,
I love her so much because she stand up for us. When she gets a chance to do something for us within her power, she doesn't hesitate. You don't have to beg her. You don't have to go through the back door and put a little something. None of that. Okay? She do it. She don't ask for no
I
hoopla and
will say
no
this.
accolades. You know,
I'll say this. She's never not answered my call. Whether it
exactly.
be advice or whether it be, like I always call her for advice, especially with the school board. You know what I mean? So she always, she's always there. So I really do appreciate her, and I really appreciate her doing what she did, and doing what she's doing. Good luck to her in her race, but this right here is huge. We close my
And
sunroof.
I was telling the listeners on 1420, Dr. Pam Pugh is running for Dan Kilde's seat. And I
Yep.
was letting them know what she has done for the Flint Community School District and what she has done for Flint in the past concerning the water crisis. She was advocate for us during that time. And she fought hard with Mayor Karen Weaver hand in hand to bring, some positivity about. But unfortunately for us, the community crucified Mayor Weaver and the public has not received a dollar. And I do want to say that because Flint got to quit falling for all these Judases. Now you sat up here and got poisoned wide open. These women put their selves out there fighting for you, and then you went and got all these old cutthroats, and they said she doing this, this she's stealing it. Okay, well she didn't steal the water crisis money. Yet you ain't got a dollar. You ain't got no ARPA funds or none of that. I think if Mayor Weaver was still there, I think the community would have gotten something. Okay, Everybody was talking mess, but you did at least get free water. You didn't have to pay to be poisoned. But that's another conversation as well. So we're gonna leave that alone. But I just want to note that Dr. Pam Pugh fought diligently alongside of Mayor Weaver, Dr. Mayor Weaver, dear Dr. Mayor Karen Weaver. And so this lady is no stranger uh, to tragedy, but she still keeps showing
Controversy,
up for us.
issues. She don't run from the issues. She's I think she's pretty dope.
I do too. I think she's solid. So, anytime somebody is working for my community and I can see what they're doing, because you hear all this talk about what somebody doing, but you can't never tell. You never, you know, hear anything about it from anybody but they camp, and it be one or two people that know about it, and nobody else in the world knows anything about it. But what
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Pugh and what uh, Dr. Mayor Karen Weaver did for us, the whole community could see what was done for us. Sadly, the attorneys are the ones who benefited from the water crisis and trying to cipher off all the money. Like I said, I think if we still had Mayor Weaver in there, that wouldn't be happening. And I think ultimately what is happening to us here in Flint is because of the bad decision making, our own greed. We always voting for some Judases because we think they gonna let us tell some lies and cheat and steal. Ain't nobody finna let you steal and have nothing that you don't deserve. So get over yourself. When somebody's fighting for you, hold up and be patient. So I do want to say this also. Eric Mays' lawsuit, we don't think that went too well. However, on behalf of the first ward, I've talking to some attorneys and they're trying to figure out which way to navigate to represent us. So I'll be keeping you tuned into that. So I don't know what his plan is, but when he informs us, I will inform you. So be prepared for first ward to speak up because us going without a voice is un-American, and I'm tired of it. So that's all on the 1420 side. Be staying tuned for that. The first ward should be having some representation concerning that matter uh, as it concerns actual citizens. So that's our time on 1420. So we're gonna roll on over to the 810 side and get on the business and get to talking about all the things that's really going on as far as 1420 goes. Love yourself, stand for something, love somebody else, speak the truth. Don't be afraid to stand up for what is right. Because when you are afraid to stand up for what is right, everything will be wrong. Talk to you next week, 1420, and we rolling on 810. Also, catch an ATN News Media Group and catch us on YouTube as well. So, Michael Clack, as far as
Yes, sir.
what do you think about this first war situation going this 90 days without a voice or representation? What you think about that?
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind when you think about no representation, it makes me think about the American Revolution when the whole thing was about they being taxed without being represented. So should the first world
Right.
residents have to pay their taxes because they don't have anybody to speak for them? They don't have anybody to advocate or represent them right now? Should they be, exempt from paying their taxes for these 90 days? Should that
Yes.
be fair? And their water bills, or like I just don't think it's gotten way out of control. You know what I mean? And I don't normally say a whole lot about other local bodies. I will speak about a little bit, but now it's to the point to
Right.
where it's ridiculous. Like the man, like what do you expect? These people go in here and it's obvious to see that they instigate fights, and then it's like they throw rocks and they hide their hand when somebody get mad enough, and get fed up, and then they kick the
Mm-hmm.
man out. It's terrible. It really is. Like at the end of the day, you don't even have to like the people that's on the board with you. You don't have to like the people that sit up there with you, but they represent a whole bunch of other people. So you got to think about them. You know what I mean? You can't
Yes.
just if you don't like Mr. Mays, you can't silence all 9,000 other 9,000 other constituents that he got just because like that's this is ridiculous. Honestly,
Yeah, dollar bill, we on it. I'm with you. I've called some attorneys, like I said, and one attorney seems to be particularly interested, and I'm hoping he can come up with something that would suffice or to help us at least let them know that the first ward is not going to continue to be unrepresented, unlawfully bound up. And it's all because this man protests. He tells the truth. He doesn't let the mayhem go on. It ain't gonna be all them old backdoor slip and slide deals going on. And he catch it and he not say nothing. He's not a coward. And that's a problem. Because I think, in my opinion, for all the blatant corruption that is going on wide open, I mean, it's in every branch. You got it on the city council, the school board, the ethics board. I mean, it speaks to the fact to me, it shows that the head is ill. It starts at the top. And I'm not blaming nobody, but I'm seeing this repetitive corruption over and over again. And it's just spilling over into every avenue. And as a taxpaying resident, like you said, I want the person that I voted for sitting in that seat representing me. And when you won't allow him to do that, you're not just violating him, you're violating us, the first ward. We don't care if you don't like him. We didn't put him there for you to like. We put him there because we like
You like him.
That's right. We like him. You ain't got to like him. We like how he stay on your tail, don't let you lie, cheat, and steal. And see, for me as a first ward resident, is when the corruption and the illegalities have been accepted, and it's went on for so long because, well, at this point, it seems to be the new normal. Because I'm going to speak out against this, because I had an ethics and accountability board member get a talking to about a letter somebody wrote. It didn't specifically say nothing about no specific incident, but yet this person is under scrutiny. Why? Because a few people don't like them. It's all personal, to the point where the people cannot even be represented. It is ridiculous for people that are supposed to be members of the body of Christ. That's the first atrocity. Okay? And I'm praying to God, because the Bible speaks about prophets that deliver messages and do things that God has not given you permission or assignment to do. And it speaks of the penalty. And so it's to the point where we got to call in some other force. On top of the Lord, we do need attorneys. And the reason this is going on is because they know the law, even the law, is too cowardly to address it. I mean, and so this is what I'm speaking of when I say that I plan on speaking to this attorney, and he's getting something together to work on behalf of the first ward residents. That's exactly what I mean, because we can't expect Mr. Mays, Councilman Mays, to do it all. He taking the licks, he going to court, win or lose. Soon as he out of one situation, they trying to jam him up on something else. Now they tried to embarrass this man. Remember the laptop situation in the pawn shop? Well, that was big news. But here we got city council people that's got money from the ARPA funds for their nonprofit, which is a violation, a conflict of interest, which is illegal. Now, everybody know that in politics, yet that is taking place. And ain't nobody saying nothing about that. But y'all was all in a stink about a laptop. See, I'm not saying act like.
That's to let you know he ain't taking no money right there if he had to pawn his laptop.
That's what I said. That's what I said. If he was on the take, he wouldn't be pawning his laptop. Okay? If he was getting some side deals, because I had one of my union reps who is the shadiest of all shades, when that happened, have the nerves to speak on it. I think he should go to jail. He pawned the laptop and ran his mouth so freely and talked about Eric Mays and going to try to show me where Eric Mays is this and that. And I told him, I said, first of all, let me tell you just like this. That's my city councilman. So you can't tell me nothing about Eric Mays because you don't even live in the city of Flint. He represent me. So I can tell you about Eric Mays, okay? Now, a couple weeks later, the UAW got caught red-handed, stealing. Some of them even went to jail, okay? Way up at the top. So I went right back to this same guy. I said, yeah, now you gave me your opinion on Eric Mays. What do you think about these union members that got caught stealing from the membership? What you think about that? Guess what? He didn't have not one thought on that. He hadn't even thought, that hadn't even crossed his mind, but yet he thinking about Eric Mays. See, this is the problem that we have all around, maybe even Genesee County, but I'm gonna speak on Flint. See, everybody, they want to, you. No, what the people in your camp doing? Because if you saw our meeting that we had in Ethics and Accountability Board, I'm for holding everybody responsible for their mess. Because we all make mistakes. Ain't nobody doing it perfect. And I don't care who try to act like they are. Nobody has all the answers. This is a hard beast to navigate. But you got people that every little thing, I don't care how minute they are, they magnify it. But then somebody's running around, walking off with the whole bag, committing all kind of crimes. And all of a sudden, the city is full of cowards. It's just so sad. It's so sad. And what's even sadder to me, Michael Clack, is it's almost like we ain't got no law around here, ain't it?
Yes, ma'am.
What you think about that? I mean, do you think?
I mean, like you ain't even like it's. I mean, it's to the point to where you got to watch yourself when you pull up at a stoplight. These people ain't stopping at red lights. They ain't stopping at stop signs, and that's just on the small end. People out here getting away with murder, literally. You know what I mean?
They are. You right, because we lost 2 kids in a fire, and nobody was held accountable. So you're right. Because to me, when you say you've checked and you haven't checked, and you're getting a paycheck to check, then it's time for somebody to be held accountable. So that's what I mean when I say all these major atrocities can take place, and people are, got their head dropped and their tail tucked, scared to say something. But the minute Eric Mays hiccup at a meeting, everybody can weigh in openly. They got everybody. Okay? Everybody's seen everything. But this other stuff that's going on, all of a sudden they sleep and they miss all that. So I just feel like, let me see. If looks could kill, would have at. Oh, okay. Well,
I can't see no comment.
Okay, let me read the comment. Mickey, where's that comment at? I'm trying to, it says, from Mr. Dollar Bill. It says if Mickey hiding it. Oh, I didn't get to read it. It says hid. It's got the, if looks could kill, Liddell would have at that meeting. Like she thought King would go check you. Like she thought King was going to check you. Well, he did try to stop me and check me, and that's fine. If that's what he wants to do, he's the chair. That's his right. But I'm going to tell the truth. I'm not going to sit back and everybody, the city council need to quit. And the city council, like she wasn't a part of the city council. She is a part of the city council. And the whole city council, just like when I was on the school board, it don't matter what these other Hellcats do. They want to hold everybody responsible. But then when these demons is cutting up, don't nobody see nothing. Well, guess what? It ain't just Tanya Burns, Jerry Winfrey Carter, and Eric Mays. The whole council is a disgrace. So no, I'm not going to just sit back and let anybody pretend. And then, Michael Clack, may I speak on the situation over at the school district?
What you were talking about?
When you had that council person over there.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. Okay, go ahead. What?
Okay.
Yeah. What's up?
And I spoke about this in the open meeting, so it's not secret, but I don't like to put a spotlight on my co-host and he's not aware of it. I'm not into blindsiding people like that. But one of the calls, and Mr. Carr, Carol, oh, thank you. One of the calls that I received about this person, this council person at the Flint Community School meeting, turning it out, cussing and going crazy, was from the president at the time. And a couple more people called me. And some people from the administration was appalled at the way this council person conducted their self. But yet you come before the board, not knowing I've received these calls. I guess you thought that I'm not a community servant, because I absolutely am still to this day. So people called me too. And they were unhappy with what had taken place, especially from this person who they expect to conduct themselves dignified. They come in there, they're talking about decorum and this and that and the other. But just a couple weeks ago, I got a call from somebody, a couple somebodies, talking about how you was threatening to kick tail and everything else. So it ain't no just no them. It's y'all. It's us.
Can
It's us.
I can I add something?
Jump on in there. Because I wasn't
So
there. You was. Go ahead.
yeah, I heard of an email that was sent to certain school board members about by a certain council member, um, wanting to take some type of corrective action against Sister Audrey Muhammad for the way she acted after she got put out of the city council meeting. I was
Uh-huh.
told of an email that was sent to certain board members. I wasn't one of those board members that got one of those emails. And at the time when the email was sent and circulated, I was the president. So I don't know how anything is expected to be done when you look at the the hierarchy of things, or um, the chain of command, how things to be brought to the fore, anything to be done, anything if the president nor the vice president nor the secretary know any have any knowledge of your grievance with someone. You know what I mean?
Right.
So so technically, if the president don't know anything about it, then nothing can happen. And
Right.
technically, those that respond to that email are in violation of speaking for the board because they're acting on they're answering not saying I don't even care about it, but what do you
Well,
expect us to do?
absolutely. It's a chain of command. I understand what you're saying, and they're not following the chain of command when you pick certain board members and send them stuff. And that same person you talking about also sent something when ethics and accountability board member spoke out. That's what I was saying. Sent a letter to the ethics and sent something to their job. So now you targeting people's jobs when they don't go along with your propaganda. Michael Clack, that might be how you ended up in the fix you in. When you don't
I'm
go
about
along
to
with they
because somebody called my job too and got me fired. So
see what
I
I'm
don't know. I'm not pointing fingers at nobody, but I'm
that's
saying
right.
someone did call my job and say something that was and I was fired under false pretenses. But it is what it is. But I just figured that that's what happens when you get to doing the right thing. If I wasn't going in the right direction, people wouldn't be targeting me like that.
Absolutely. And here I am, a union member. I was being violated on my job. They was breaking the law, jamming me up on a union job. I'm paying union dues in front of everybody, lying on me. I was almost fired. Okay. And I already know they dropped it down. My 109s to serve on the board meetings got revoked and everything. Okay. Because somebody called my union. Because why would my union stop allowing me to participate when they claim they encourage you to participate? So this stuff, when you don't roll the way they want you to, when you don't give it up, when you don't lie, cheat, and steal with them, you are a target. That's just the bottom line. And I wouldn't lie to you. I have no reason to lie. Bottom line, because if I was
I
with
would.
it, if we was with it, Michael Clack, we could be rich, couldn't we?
Yep.
We could have had some of them Esther dollars, couldn't we?
Yep.
Probably
Them
got us some
ARPA dollars.
ARPA funds, all them funds. But guess what? I don't want my reward from them demons and from hell. I want my reward from God. Okay. I'm trying to do the right thing. And even if I don't get a reward, just knowing that I do the right thing and operate with integrity means a lot to me. Okay. It feels good to stand up and say when somebody's bearing false witness on you, Use a lie and know you can say that honestly. Okay.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
this is true. Miss Tia Harris says certain people on the council create hostile environments, provoke the residents, and then expect for us not to respond. And that's what I was saying in our meeting. You cannot treat people like dirt. And when they say, I don't appreciate how you're treating me, oh, you got to go. You got to, because first of all, to me, if you're chairing the council meeting, how you see somebody way in the back that's talking? Is we in school or is we in a public meeting? Are we looking? And then I had laid my pen down on the table. You know how when you get frustrated, you slap your pen down on the table?
Hmm.
I had an ethics and accountability board member put her hands on me. I had to tell her twice, get your hands off me. She poking me like this, kept right on chastising me and poking. I had to tell her 2 times. After I told her, I said, I'm going to tell you one more time to get your hand off me. She still hit me off one more time. Then she quit. Miss Billy said something about it. This person said, oh, well, I was just lightly touching her. I said, get your hand off me. Don't touch me, period. Now, we got all these people on the Ethics and Accountability Board in there watching. Nobody said a word to her. But when I slammed my pen down, here comes somebody who keep their pockets loaded up with them federal dollars. I noticed that. They hits a lick on that water crisis money, got a little taste of them ARPA fund. Is that necessary? Well, I'm not breaking the law. I ain't violating nothing. So is it necessary for you to be asking me, is this necessary? Since I'm a grown woman? But you don't see none of this lying, cheating, stealing, none of this unscrupulousness. But every move me and Miss Billy make, they right on it. It's a shame what is going on in our city. But this is the saddest part. When somebody stands up, there is no support from the city. Now that's a shame. That's a shame. Let me come down, but is trying to scare them away. Okay, and this person says, tell them to come down because the president is trying to scare them away by sicking the police on them. And that is exactly what is happening, which is a violation of people's constitutional rights, which I have spoke out against in the Ethics and Accountability Board. But unfortunately, the rest of the board don't see nothing wrong with the police getting sicked on them at a public meeting. I'm just one person and I don't know everything. Maybe I'm getting it wrong. Maybe constitutional rights ain't for residents and taxpayers of the city of Flint. I seem to always have it wrong. I do, and I be trying to do what's right and be kind to people and, look out for the mass, but that doesn't seem to be what the people want. Michael Clack, what you think about?
Why you?
Oh,
Mm,
go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I said why you breathe like that?
Because there's so much that could be said. And then I'm the type of person too. I like to choose my words selectively because you know how I go into the light. And I don't want to, that's what I do on my personal time when I'm talking to my emotional support team, which Mike Clack happens to be one of those people. So, and you can't say everything publicly that you say and that you feel, and,
No.
and then sometimes you feel that in that moment and you say things and you regret it. And I don't ever want to get on here and be one of those people that just be spewing negativity and never bask in the opportunity to try to be a part of the solution, because you can't get toxic because there's so much going on that you can be negative about around here. That's problem number one. It's like it's like I said, it's like almost like they said, you can rob Flint and break the law and violate these residents, and we will give you a pass. It's almost like somebody's been given a pass to rob and violate us and overlook our rights.
That's you would think with all the lawlessness that's going on around here. I just it's sometimes it's like like especially like we heard the tape, bro. We seen the check, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like we saw them. How do you not at least pull somebody in and ask somebody questions?
I
Like that's the
mean,
part that it's like why is everybody else breaking their neck to try to abide by all the most of the laws and whatnot and live in a lawful right, and then the people that we got down there that we voted to do what's right by us is down there, they like what you call them, the 1%ers. They like
right.
they just doing whatever they want to do. Like I don't see how you could, like in my mind, when I go into the schools, I'm going in there regardless of if I'm trying to. I'm going in there like some of these kids got no other positive male to look up to than the teacher or the principal or the, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Absolutely.
so you cannot, to me, you cannot act like you cannot say that you are looking out for the next generation when you steadily putting everybody else in debt.
Right,
You put
right.
you putting these kids in debt. Like you putting their kids in debt. Like 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 I'm doing everything. Why are we doing everything? Trying to do everything the right way, and the people that we got representing us is doing everything they want to do, whether it's right or wrong.
You know what I came up with, Mike Clack? That the process of the judicial system and all these laws and regulations and stuff, and now we see that they
For
don't
the poor
apply
people.
to, they're for poor people and they're for working class people and they're for those type of people. That's to keep you in check so you don't dare try and fly. See what I'm saying?
So
Because
you
they might
can't
catch.
try and fly.
Right, right. That's to make sure you don't never get on your feet and they can keep you down in a slave type situation, and not allowing our kids to have a proper education puts them in a slave type situation because they will always be subservient to somebody, cleaning hotel rooms, cleaning toilets, having to drive people around, having to cook, having to clean, which it is nothing wrong with those things if that is what you aspire or you're okay with doing. But for a child who has a dream, for you to deny them, grown people, and I always say this, and God don't like the word hate, but I am getting to the point where I am almost hating these people because you are actually putting kids in a lose-lose situation. And here you are with your fancy education, your fancy degree, your fancy title, and your sorry ass won't even consider doing your job. You might not have to lie, steal, and cheat if you figure out what your job is and try to do it. You might be great at doing the right thing, but they so low-lifed it. And because the lawlessness has been uh condoned and almost encouraged, somebody high up is telling these people, go ahead and steal, we're not going to come for you, because you can't get me to believe this many black people think they can steal from the federal government and they ain't worried about jail. They wide open on YouTube lying, cheating, and stealing, and ain't nobody scared. Now these ain't criminals in the streets. These ain't gang bangers. Okay, these ain't street people. These are squares that's bringing lawlessness and street behavior to organized governmental processes.
It's
Mm-mm-mm.
the part about it is like we all knew that there was corruption, but it's like we see it though. You know what I'm saying? Like social media helps us spread it. You know what I mean? Like it's out. Like we see it, and then it's like they like, all right, well, oh well, we gonna get our money anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like
right.
the gall of you to say something like that, like even if it's gonna happen, but just it's gonna happen. What you gonna do about it? What can you do? What you gonna do? It's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Go file your court papers, because they already done talked to all them over there. They ain't finna do nothing. Run, file that little complaint. Run and file your lawsuit. Run, and they laughing at us. And then it's the thing, even on the state level, you mean the governor ain't concerned about this?
Mm-hmm.
So see, because all of this is questionable. It ain't just downtown. It ain't just downtown. This is outside of the city limits. These people are brazen. These people ain't worried about no jail because they seen what happened with Rick Snyder. Nothing. Look at the water crisis money. I'm gonna keep talking about that. The only people got paid for the water crisis is the lawyers, and they want it all. They don't even want you to get no water crisis money because you got to fill out another packet again. They just trying to wait and see till the packets dwindle down and see how much money they could get, and then when they get what they want, when they reach their number, then maybe release $200 or $300 to each resident, maybe. But if
A
it cut
couple
in
more
on
y'all,
their millions, then you say, go
a
ahead, Michael
couple more,
Clack.
so a couple more y'all gonna die off. A couple more gonna move away. You know what I mean? Like so, it's just a waiting game. They just and people in Flint just like sitting back, letting it happen. And let me say this, Harold. This past Wednesday, this
Uh-huh.
board meeting that we had. Even the next one. I ain't gonna lie. How many people watching? How many people can you see up there?
Man, it wasn't nobody in Winters called for some people to show up and did
No, no, no.
nobody
I'm talking about how many. No, I was gonna say like anyway. So the this was the first school board meeting that I was actually kind of nervous going to.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Like I called you a bunch of times. Like
Right.
man, you know what I'm saying? Like with the
Right.
hoodies and stuff. I was like, I was really like, man, I'm about to go get butchered today. You know what I'm saying? Like I was
Right.
expecting, even though I encourage people to come down and talk because it's your right. Come down. I've had people
Right.
come down and say, President Clack, and I'm like, damn, there's 6 other people up here too. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the
Right.
day, that's what you do when you jump on out there. But I was expecting for people to come down and express how upset they were about the hoodies, and you know what I'm saying? And nobody was there. Like, and I'm saying that because our whole community is everybody straight when they on Facebook, but won't nobody come out when it's time. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what the deal is, man. Like I'm no longer the president, but I'm still on the board. You know what I'm saying? I'm the vice
Right.
president. At
Oh,
the end
you
of the
right.
day,
As long as you on there, you're
yeah,
responsible.
but what I'm saying though is it's all about transparency, man. Like people like it was hard for me to hear all this stuff that people were saying and they were pulling me into it, even though it's not my job and it's not my fault. But it was
Right.
still I'm still trying to answer for it. I'm trying to take up for the school. I'm trying to do this and I'm trying to do that. And I know what we're doing. I know, but it's not getting out there. All
So
the
let me
negative stuff.
let me say this, Mr. Clack. It says, Miss Carroll, do you think that some of the members of the board know things are corrupt but have to go along with the corruption because they are compromised? Absolutely. Absolutely. See, and that's the thing about when you take that dollar, when you do that dirt, when you get your palm greased one time, they got your tail. Just like how Puff Daddy tried to do. I'm gonna stay in on him too. Just like it's men in the industry that got sexual assault claims against him. You can't hardly go through him and make a dollar without having to give it up. See, that's because if you speak out against it or try to do something about it, he got some videotapes on you where you're compromised. That's why it's best to not compromise yourself. Because, like they say, what you do to get them is what you got to do to keep them. Okay? You ain't gonna steal today and get honest tomorrow. Because when you get honest tomorrow, they're gonna remind you you stole yesterday. Okay. So that's why because they called, when I was bored, they called and told my father to tell me to just take the money. Well, my father is crazy, is all giddy up. So he went ham, bacon, and eggs. But I was raised to make do with what I have. And I was raised to depend on God. And I was raised to know that if these things aren't provided for me honestly, then they are not mine to have. And see, some people can't accept it because everybody's a boss. Okay. Everybody is not a boss. Okay. And if you want to be a boss, invent something. But scheming, lying, cheating, manipulating, taking advantage of kids and old people, that ain't no boss. That's a con artist. That's a thief. That's what that
imagine how
is.
imagine how many put this in perspective. Imagine how many kids could have been lives could have been different if we would have had all the
If they'd
school
have had an
boards
education.
but if all the school boards before us and it would have had honest people and that was putting the resources where that should have gone. and all the all the everybody was doing what they were supposed to do. Imagine how many kids would be different. Imagine how many lives would be different. Try and think
That's
about
why I
that.
got on the board. That's why I got on the board because I couldn't understand it. And that is why it is an attack on the whole district. And you're absolutely right. And that's what I mean. They not just getting one or two kids, they getting a whole society of children for decades, generations on generations on generations. And guess what? Somebody got to go to them detention centers and them prisons because they somebody selling them jumpsuits, somebody is selling them flip-flops they gotta have, them phone cards, them zooms and whams. All that's provided by somebody's company. Okay. So when I say they are keeping Flint in a subservient position, to have to serve these people at the top and these Judases that's sitting on these boards, they just the suckers that they sending. Okay, they just the but there'll always be a sucker to the day they die. Because when I need you to misuse your people, I'm gonna call you. And even if you out the game, you coming out of retirement. Because back in 72, you stole this, you stole that. I still got the check. You did this, you did that, and your son ain't got no talent. I'm gonna fire him. Remember that job I hooked him up with? Because none of them are operating off they skills. It's all operating off a hookup. And that's why all the processes is messed up. Go ahead, Michael Clack, weigh in on that.
I I don't know. You got it. That it ain't nothing for me to say. It ain't nothing for me to say.
Exactly, Tracy Jones. If the resources that was earmarked for Flint Public Schools without the well-dressed sellouts, exactly. And then we had one superintendent, I'm not going to even say their name, but every time you look up, they kept saying, and I was handpicked, and I was handpicked, which was shocking to me because the person who supposedly handpicked them wasn't even from this area, wasn't from this state, don't know them. How you get handpicked? So as I reflect back on that now, it was all part of the setup because they rent that person out of town and this person end up sliding into the top spot, keeping it going. They keep their people in the mix. And if you not they people, just like that, just like I feel like with our ombudsman situation, I feel like that situation is going how it's going because they don't have the yuppie in place for the position yet. So they won't fill it because the lady who's doing the job is amazing because the whole thing would have went under without her and she paying for stuff out of her pocket and everything. But for whatever reason, she ain't good enough. And I think the reason is she ain't got the blessing from the corrupt. That's my opinion on an open situation. Okay. So, let me see. Let me read some of this. Glad you out and doing better, Renata. Oh yeah. Thank God for healing. Somebody's been healed and made it out the hospital, and we always thank God for that. Yep, some of these folks in these positions are dumb as a box of rocks. Dollar bill, yes, sir. Handpicked. Yup, that's what they kept saying. I was handpicked. Yep. So, with all that said, they do. Somebody said they want us all to give up. They do. They want us to, because they tried to wear me out on that school board. When I tell you they had me so mentally, physically, and then on top of that, when I go to work, they would my committee person at the time tried to set me up to get fired during COVID. Oh, just flat out lies. They wouldn't even do an investigation against anything I said, but anything somebody said against me, they didn't even research it. They wouldn't ask nobody else. Just time off, go home, because they knew. Even I'm hearing that this new lady that's over the unfair labor, the ULB board or whatever, the unfair labor practice people, they say she's for the unions. So if you got a problem with your representation, she ain't finna straighten that out. Because everybody's trying to make it for themselves and nobody's trying to do the job that they are set to do, for the people. You have to be blind, crippling, crazy not to hear. You have to be blind, crippling, crazy not to have your opinion. Well, see, when your opinion don't line up with their agenda, that's a problem.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. When your opinion and your strength and your ideas ain't lining up with lacing their pockets and lifting them up and making them seem like they so amazing. Okay, because this is all about grown folks, shining, needing to be somebody, needing to feel important. I mean, do your job. You can probably be important. Do your job. Let me see what else they say. And that's oh, and I did want to say this. What they're doing to Mr. Mays is illegal because the only person can remove you from your voted position is the governor. Okay, the governor removes you from your position. Now, if they had, some sanctions or whatever, and I don't know what all is going on with that. Same thing with Miss Green. That's how we were able to unseat Laura McIntyre and Joyce Ellis McNeil when we did it the first time when they stole that money is because Danielle Green realized that she absolutely could have been participating in those meetings all along and she had been lied to. Okay, so thank God for Miss Sharice Lee knowing the law, kept saying that yes you could, yes you could. Miss Green finally took a chance and came to the meeting, and it was amazing because we were finally able to get some devils off that post blocking the progress. But anyway, that's another conversation. We'll save that. Let me see. When the right hand of judgment comes through, is going to sweep through Flint like a tsunami. Just hold your course. I hope so. I hope so because I think okay, the person was celebrating the corruption by saying they were handpicked. I guess so. I didn't see that at the time, but now that I look back, you are absolutely right because it was already in motion, and what this guy was fighting against. I'm just going to tell you. This person was saying that our legal fees were too high and they were blocking and they put in red writing, do not pay this bill because the Flint Community School District was being overbilled. So what they did was moved him out the way, waited till the next person came and then paid the bill. Well, we didn't really know what all was going on because they didn't tell us the whole truth. I noticed a lot of times when the information come and it don't favor what they want, you don't get the whole story. So that person ended up getting paid, and then we got the next person, and they looked in the law that they was operating off of hadn't been updated since like 2013 or something. It was just terrible, and we're paying out hundreds of thousands of dollars and getting sued. I mean, like I said, if you came from Sesame Street and wanted to sue the Flint Community School District at the time, you could have won. Okay, if I would have knew that, no, I wouldn't. I'm lying.
Not
I,
last
I
year.
wouldn't. You say what?
Not
My
last
Clack.
year. Not like my Clack had that hammer. No, no, no. You wasn't getting nothing. No,
Well, Miss
no, no.
Sharice was on the job. Miss Sharice was on the job too. And I'm glad that we brought her in because ever since Miss Sharice Lee, and her contract is due to be up in a minute, but ever since Miss Sharice Lee has been in there, not one person has sued the Flint Community School District on them little lawsuits and won. All that old workers suing because you belched while they was walking by and they felt none of that. Ain't a dollar went out the door, okay? Pause on all that. They was talking about Tom Pats never lose a case. Guess what? Tom Pats ain't signing up for no more cases against the Flint Community School District. Long Sharice Lee on the job. Now, when Joyce Ellis McNeil and Laura McIntyre vote not to redo her contract because she wouldn't lie, cheat, and steal with them, then you'll see the lawsuits flying again. Because if y'all gonna have Tim Gardner, vice president, I'm here to tell you now, everybody finna sue y'all. And I might circle back and see if I can get some of my money that they owe me because I was illegally investigated, lied on. They didn't accuse me of extorting the superintendent, which was a flat out lie because ain't no way if I didn't extort to somebody, I'm going to be polar. I ain't going to speak poverty over my life, but I guarantee you, if I'm going to take a penitentiary chance, y'all would not see me on these podcasts after sitting 6 years on the school board. I'd be gone, okay? I have a desire to own a beach house over in the Caribbean, and that's where I would be. Okay. I'm not going to hell about no $35, $40. Okay. I'm not gonna be in contempt with God about no little bit. I ain't gonna be in contempt with God about no lot of bit. I ain't going to hell for nobody. But I'm just saying, if I'm gonna do wrong, like I told y'all, I'm not gonna rob the process I'm sitting on. I'm gonna rob somebody else, and I ain't gonna have to rob them but one time. See, if I was a bank robber, I ain't robbing no whole bunch of banks. I'm taking one chance, but I ain't gonna do that because I'm scared of the Lord, and I know He gonna give me the same day. I'll be at that first dinner spending some of that hot money and die on
Well,
the chicken bone, choke to death.
I done been to jail. I'm scared of the law. I ain't trying to go. I ain't trying to be none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I ain't going. I don't like orange. I don't like that orange. I'm not. I'm not doing. I'm not gonna do it.
Ooh,
I'm not gonna.
Mr. Dollar Bill say some folks is getting lawnmowers and Halloween candies taking penitentiary check for some Halloween candy and a lawnmower. Oh Lord, have mercy. Oh my God. I can't go to jail or Judy's kid. I can't go to jail about none of that. If I go to jail, y'all, look, if they say I done did some super califragilistic SBLadosha something or another, they that lit, then y'all say, well, we got to get her side of the story. But they talking about them little tools infused, 10,000, 20. No, absolutely not. Okay. I can't imagine what they'd have to pay me just to fall out with the Lord. I'm scared of going to jail too. I am. I am scared of jail, but I'm scared of God because the power I serve is a much higher power than the law, than these little peons around here calling themselves crucifying me. Y'all ain't got nothing for me because I done been whooped by God before. So I ain't finna do nothing to fall out with the Lord.
Yeah.
That part. Michael Clack, what you say? They done got you fired off your job because you wouldn't do the shoot dude with them.
I don't even know why, but you know, I don't even know, man. But somebody called up there, and they
And
said that
got
I
you
was going to
fired.
board. But look, they said that I was going to board meetings on the clock. You know what I mean? Like everybody in the
Uh,
world know I'm on the school board. Like I would have to clock out to go and then come back. You know what I'm saying? Like if I was able to make it back. But you know,
right.
I don't know who did it. Somebody did it,
Got you throwed
and
off
I
your
didn't.
job. That's all right. That's all right. God got a better job for you. You suffering a little bit. You went through the struggle. But what I'm learning is you come out better. If you stick to it, you always come out wiser, better, stronger. And now I'm like battery acid. After that school board situation, I'm stronger. I ain't never scared. For real. I ain't just saying I ain't scared of you. Do what you gonna do. I got God. But I do want to say this, Michael Clack, mass shouts out to you and Dr. Pam Pugh about what you're doing for the school district. Don't forget, be looking. Oh, the recall information. I don't have Miss Beverly's number out, but don't forget to get in touch with Miss Beverly Biggs. I do have her number to sign the recall because they're trying
I
to
think
mess
it's
up the lines. Talk,
810-610-4599.
say it again.
810-610-4599. Eight one
Yep,
zero
that's the
six
number.
one zero 4599 I believe.
And they're trying to say that they can't get the boundary lines right to recall Miss Liddell. That's another thing that they're trying to mess you around on. So now, since they changed her district, she can't be recalled. Is that what they're trying to say? You trying to figure
I
that
don't
out
know,
too,
man.
Mickey? Say it in the mic, Mickey.
I muted myself. No, we trying to figure out, but we will have Dominic Clemens on Tuesday.
Okay, so they're gonna straighten all that out
I
and let
mean,
us know what it
he
is.
gonna let us know what's going on, best of his knowledge.
Okay, because we need to know about that. So participate in that if you're not happy with where you've been represented by the Flint City Council. There's recalls out for pretty much everybody. Um, So yeah. And if you don't like how you're being served in the first ward, keep tuning in. I'm going to give you updates as to what we're going to do as far as making legal moves. We are not going to keep putting up with this. And we're going to go outside of Flint to get some help. Okay. So that's what we'll be doing. And they've assured us that they're concentrating on a strategy for us. So keep your ears peeled for that. Michael Clack, what else you got?
That's pretty much it, man. You can. I try to keep my Facebook page updated with a lot of stuff going on with the school board or with the district in itself. Um, so you know, we do have heat, y'all. Not gonna go back down that road, but school board meeting Wednesday at 6:30. This is the official first official school board meeting of the year. So if
Mm-hmm.
you guys want to, you know, we can tune in on YouTube. I'm sure A10, you know, might stream it. They might even show up. I think I heard Winter say she was gonna be there. Or you know, maybe Trevor or Mickey might show up. I don't know. But
No.
6:30 on Wednesday. Um, um, what else? We got it. We again, we got a new app. All the other things, just like you know, student or a parent. Um, what else? I think that's pretty much it with the school district as far as I got right now. Oh, stay tuned because
Okay.
we're gonna have an update on the sports, the athletic program. I'm not sure if it's gonna be. Yeah, we're gonna try to do it for Wednesday.
Okay. And then get your 810 News Media Group paraphernalia from Mickey off the website, Miss
Certainly.
Winters and him.
UD5.
Say it in.
I'll put it across the chat. I'll put the banner right
Okay,
here.
he's going to put it across the chat. And this is a production from Intellectual Elevations. And tune in on 1420. Stay here at 810 News Media Groups. Uh, Stay honest. Stay tuned. We appreciate you for tuning in, loaning us your eyes and your ears. Thank you for all the comments. We'll be looking forward to seeing you again next Friday at 5 o'clock. And we're going to try, like I said, I'm terrible at this social media. Mickey is supposed to be helping me. So we're going to tighten this thing up. But we're here for the long haul. And I'm so happy to be a part of this ATN News Media Group family. And I'm feeling good about it. I think we can do great things. I think we can reach a multitude of people. Stay down with us. Until next week, peace.
Peace.